Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Selar webinar. Selar is a platform that is built for creators to be able to sell, monetize their products and services. And today, in line with Women's Month and it still being very close to IWD, we're talking about a topic that is very, very, very important for women and creators alike. So, hello, everybody. Today, we're going to be talking about a topic that's very, very important. We're going to be talking about turning knowledge into wealth, especially for women. How can we empower women to not just talk on the panel sessions that happen during Women's Month and IWD, but how can they also earn from it? And we're going to be speaking to three wonderful speakers. So, right now, you can type out in the chat where you're currently watching the webinar from, and also make sure to send in your questions while we wait for our guests to come on. And once they come on, we'll kickstart the webinar with a lot of questions. All right, I want to confirm if everybody can hear me. So if you can just type in the chat if you can currently hear me and where you are currently listening from. Is this your first Seller webinar? Is this the first time you're with us? Hi, Mercy from Anambra, and hi, Esther from Festac. Lovely to meet everybody watching from Lagos. I'm also in Lagos as well. It's been really hot. So yes, welcome to the webinar. Welcome to Seller. Seller is your all-in-one creator platform where you're going to be able to monetize your content, monetize your knowledge, and it's very in line with the topic that we're talking about today. How can we empower women to be able to earn? How can we be able to strengthen them more than just the panel sessions that happen during IWD? How can we make sure that they are able to take this knowledge that we share during this period and apply it towards earning? So I think we're currently waiting for our guests to join. And once they do, we'll kickstart this right off. Hi, McLean from Uyu and Caroline from Lagos State. So I'm going to play a little game while we wait for our guests to join. If you would start creating content today, what would you talk about in your content? Do you want to be a tech reviewer? Do you already create content? Tell us about it in the chat. Awesome. I'm happy you can hear me loud and clear. So we're just waiting for a few of our guests to join in. In the meantime, I'm going to talk more about the topic that we have at hand. Hi, Gloria, and hi, Ife. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes, I can.
Welcome, welcome. It's so lovely to just speak to three women who are so powerful and who have also just walked the walk and talked the talk when it came to monetizing their knowledge online and also earning from their content and things like that. I just want to confirm if you're able to turn on your video at this point, if that's possible, before we kickstart into it. Hi, Gloria. Hi, Fair. It's so lovely to speak to you.
And you too. How are you, Chidima? Hi, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for having me. I hope you can hear me.
Awesome. Oh, yes, we
Great.
can hear you perfectly. Hi, Gloria. Hi, Fair. Dr. Sarah, hi. Good afternoon. Good evening. I just want to confirm that
Hi.
we're able to start at this time.
Hi, good evening. Hi, good evening, everyone.
Hi, Dr.
I
Sarah.
can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. Good evening.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm just going to go right into it um, and just get started with introducing the wonderful women we have in front.
How is it not working? It's not working. I'm actually in it. Hi.
Hey Siri, how do I make money as a digital creator? How can I make money from my creativity? What's the best course hosting platform in Africa?
To do that, you'll need to be online.
Alright, I'm online. What's next? Everyone has a story to tell. The difference is in how we tell them. As a creator, you tell your stories with the content you create. Our job is to give you a platform to monetize your content. So the next time you think about digital products, think Selar. Get started for free on selar.co today.
Hey creator, come here. No, I mean, come closer. Why are you managing chaos? You're hosting your course on Google Drive, using another platform to build your sales page, and a totally different platform to receive payments. And guess what? Sometimes you can't even receive payment from your international customers. Why are you trying to manage chaos? Or don't you like your peace of mind? With Seller, you can manage the whole process of selling your digital products from one place. From hosting your ebooks and courses, receiving payments, managing your customers' data, automated follow-up for abandoned transactions, and even building beautiful sales pages. Don't you like your peace of mind? Life is hard enough. Allow us to take care of a few things, you know. Stop managing chaos and start using Seller today.
Hello, everybody. Apologies for the break in transmission. Hopefully, we can get get joined back in once again. Hi, Ife. I deeply apologize for the break in transmission. I'd love to wait for Dr. Sarah to join back in again. But can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Awesome.
Yes.
I'll go ahead to just read out your bios and just introduce everybody to the wonderful women that we have before us. So I'm going to start with Ife. Ifeoluwa Adegoke is a leading voice in the financial industry, helping individuals to transform their financial stories and design their fulfilling financial life. She's a top tier financial planning expert dedicated to helping career professionals achieve lasting financial stability. And she has impacted over 15,000 people with financial literacy across Africa. Also, we have in front of us Dr. Sarah, also known as Rich Auntie Finance. She's a transformational leader, personal finance expert, author, global speaker, and so much more. She's an award-winning personal finance expert and the founder of Rich Auntie Finance Limited, and so much more. Gloria Babarinde is an award-winning broadcaster, elite events compare, corporate communications executive, and media entrepreneur with a commanding voice and captivating presence. She has interviewed distinguished leaders in politics, business, social impact, amplifying stories that inspire change. It is my deep honor to be talking to you yesterday. Good evening, and how are you doing today?
Doing great. Thank you for having us.
Good evening. Thank you very much for having me. Good evening.
Good evening. So I'd like to just get right into it because it's Women's Month and we're talking a lot about how women can actually truly earn money online and from the content that they create. It's like especially because what we're used to during Women's Month is panel sessions and speaker sessions and not necessarily things that actually put money in and funding in women's pockets. So we know that many women have valuable knowledge and skills and often struggle as something that they can use to generate income. Why do you think this gap exists? And I would love if everybody just gave an answer on this. Why do you think it's different with women where they see skills that they already have and then they struggle to see it as something that they can make money from? Good. Hi, Gloria. You can just take this one. Yeah.
Okay. First of good evening, everyone, and good day, whatever time it is that you're joining us from across the world. Thank you, Selar, for having me. Truly honored to be on this very distinguished panel with Ifeoluwa and Rich. Thank you very much for inviting me. And I
It's lovely
particularly
to
love
have you.
the conversation that we're about to have in part and turning knowledge into income because, again, nobody sets out to just do anything without the goal of making money. Yes, we always scream passion. I'm passionate about this, I'm passionate about that, but the bills will not pay itself. You have
Yeah.
to make money, you have to eat, you have to put food on your table. So, more often than not, a lot of women find it very difficult to close the gap between turning their skill, turning their passion into income. And I'll share three basic reasons. Number one, I would say imposter syndrome. A lot of women feel like they're not deserving. Oh, I don't have the skill that people will want to pay for. I don't have the amount of value that I feel people will want to leave money on the table for because it's value that you give in exchange for money. It's value
Yeah.
that you give to make money and to say that this is a stream of income. So number one will be imposter syndrome. Women are fond of relegating themselves to the background. Oh, I don't have the skill I think people will pay for. Why should I turn this skill into money? Who told you that people will pay for the skill or pay for your value? Another thing is still under imposter syndrome. Some women feel like, oh, people already have this skill. Why is he mine that they will now want to pay for? I have
Yeah.
many doing what I do. I have a lot of women that know how to host events. I have a lot of platforms that people already host their ebooks, their digital, their work. Why is it mine that people will want to pay for? So under imposter syndrome, I think that's one issue and one reason why women find it very difficult to turn their income, their skill into income. Another reason will be access to funding. A lot of women they have this big idea, they have these big dreams, these skills, they've owned their skills so much so that they can now turn it into income, but they need money to start. they need capital, they need access to capital. And then I think I was listening to Tony Elumelu, CFR, where he was saying that Africans do not lack skill. We don't lack knowledge, we don't lack ideas, but two things that we lack: number one, access to funding, and number two, access to knowledge to turn skill into income. Because you can know something, you can have the idea, you can know what to do, but when it now comes to turning it into money, it becomes a problem because you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the know-how, you don't have the basics, the foundation of what to do to make your skill bring money for you. So first, imposter syndrome. Number two will be access to funding. Number three will be access to knowledge. I think that's a big gap that many women face these days. And finally, I would like to say that women are afraid of failing. That's another reason why sometimes women find it difficult to turn their skill into income. You know, men, they are big risk takers. If you ask
Yeah.
a man today that, oh, I need you to resume as the president of Nigeria tomorrow, or the president of the world tomorrow, they won't even think twice.
Yeah.
Immediately they are jumping at that opportunity. Immediately they are like, yes, 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 let's do it. But you see, women, we want to start second guessing ourselves. We want to start looking at the metrics. We're looking at, can I? You're asking yourself, am I sure? Who will want to submit to me as the president or as a leader? So we are afraid of failing. The fear of failure, I think, is another reason why many women today are finding it very difficult to turn their skills into income. So to reiterate, number one will be imposter syndrome, two, lack of knowledge or access to knowledge, and number three will be access to funding, and the fourth will be fear of failure. So I'll stop there.
I love how succinct each of your points were, and they are very actionable, right? You can take it. And I love what you said about how men, if you tell a man that he was to resume as, the president of Nigeria, I think men tend to not second guess themselves. And you spoke a lot about earning money. And that brings me to my next question for Miss Sarah. Um, we're talking about like earning money from your knowledge or skills. The next challenge is managing that money well. So, like, what are some financial habits that you wish women would like learn or unlearn from like what we're all used to? Hi. Okay, no, we can't hear you. I think maybe you're muted. There's a chance. Okay. Hmm. No, we can't hear you. Can you guys hear me in the chat?
Yes, I can hear you, Chidima, loud and clear.
Okay. We're struggling to hear you. Okay, I think we can go on to like another question while Sarah's trying to fix her internet. Hi, Ife. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Awesome. So I wanted to talk about like a mindset shift that I think women need to make. What do you think is the mindset shift that women need to make from like having this imposter syndrome? How do you think they should start to see money and think about money in general?
So the question seems to be in two parts. So you're asking about imposter syndrome and how women should see money in general. Can you
Yes.
confirm?
So,
I heard that
yes,
clearly.
how they can change their mindset around money to growing
Okay.
it and earning from it. Yeah.
So one thing about imposter syndrome is we all have it, right? It's that little voice at the back of your head that is telling you, oh, are you the one they are looking for? Would they like you? Would they listen to you? Would they take you seriously? Would they see from your point of view? So even the most courageous and audacious people, the highest achievers that I know, they still have that voice. The only thing is, and I'm going to say a quote I heard some times ago that says, courage is not the absence of fear. It's moving forward despite fear that you're feeling, or So I would take that now and put it into the case of imposter syndrome. So the syndrome is there, is a voice, right? But you have to do what you have to do despite that voice. And the more you do, the more clarity you get, the better you get with your skill, you understand it better. And I'm going to also share my own personal story to answer this question and tie it to money mindset that I'm to talk about. So when I started Money Talks with Fair about 8 years ago, it was very cringe. Oh my God, it was so cringe. I didn't like it at all. I would overanalyze my videos. I was like, okay, would they take it seriously? And then there is these vanity metrics that will pay attention to, which are the likes, the shares, the comments.
Yeah.
And then, it's heartbreaking when you see your family member even pass your video. And you're like, oh, guys, you're supposed to be in my corner. Go and like the video. So this was the start, and I think for a lot of people, the start is always like that. No start is picture perfect rather. However, it's keeping at it and building mastery that would shun that doubt in your head, right? That would help you become the version of you that you already see on the inside. So, how to change your mindset with imposter syndrome? I would say don't over focus or overly fixate on, oh, I must conquer this imposter syndrome before I start. No, it's starting that will help you conquer that imposter syndrome or that feeling of doubt that you might have. And again, you are not alone. Any high achiever you talk to at any point in their career, they felt that way. So the mindset shift for imposter syndrome, I think that's the best way to approach it. Just start. Clarity, confidence would meet you, and the result you're looking for would meet you on your journey as you continue to apply yourself. Now, on the money mindset, we all like money. We all like to look beautiful. I'm looking at Chidima here with her beautiful hair, nicely done lip combo. I'm looking at Gloria with her, beautiful wig. Even these glasses, I'm sure they cost some money. We all, money is on this screen, right? We all need money for these beautiful things that we love, right? And as women, money is power. That's one thing you have to know. Money is power, money is choice, money is giving yourself freedom and liberty, right? So the mindset for you as a woman when it comes to money should be, it's about freedom. It's about giving expression to your dreams. It's about giving expression to who you are. It's about letting your voice be heard while doing what you love and making money from what you love, right? And I believe with the understanding that money is, I think we all understand it as adults, that money is such an integral part of our life. But understanding that as a woman, particularly for you, you need money, right? And as a woman, you never want to be in a position where you cannot make choices that would protect your life, your dreams, your loved ones, just because you cannot have access to money. So again, the conversation is, turning your knowledge um, into financial freedom, and that's the basket or the premise of which we are speaking today. So I would say, put your skills to work, let money flow. So I will stop there before I take the entire session. Thank you.
Put your skills to work and let money flow. I think a mindset around earning money is always as important, especially as women, because like I think we think a lot and we overthink things a lot. So it's always important to talk about our mindset towards imposter syndrome and also towards money as well. And earning money brings me to my next question. Hi Sarah. Can you hear me now? We can't hear you. We can't. I'm so sorry. At all. We can't hear you at all. Do you have like a mic connected?
So what might help is maybe you log out and log back in, then do your
Yeah.
device connection again. Also, if it's a network problem, you might turn off the video and just let your audio run so
Audio,
that
yeah.
you.
Okay. Okay, hi Gloria. I think we would just keep on having the conversation in the meantime. So,
That's fine.
a lot of talented women struggle with visibility. They are good at what they do, but like they don't exactly know how to position themselves as work. And I mean, work is like the one place where women experience so much imposter syndrome, especially because we tend to be outnumbered in the corporate space. So, where do you think that women should start when they're trying to like own their space in the corporate space or build a professional brand?
Okay, thank you very much, Idima, for that question. So now, branding is a question I get asked a lot when I go to speak, not only as a professional compare, but also because I do corporate communication. And branding is an integral part of communication. And to everyone listening, I want you to listen very attentively. Now, there are two parts of it to your branding. You mentioned professional branding and you mentioned visibility. And
Yeah.
yesterday I was hosting an event where one of the panel sessions stated visibility, value, and leverage, how to make people know what you do better. Because again, as women, nobody can pay you for what they don't know you do. And nobody can also pay you for what is not clear to them. If they don't understand the values that you're offering, they can't give money in exchange for it. So that's why this question is very important that we tackle it. Building your professional and personal brand. Because again, your personal brand is what boomerangs into your professional brand. And I say it more often than not that your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room, when you're not there. If there's a
Yeah.
meeting and people are saying that, oh, Gloria is such an excellent service provider. When it comes to event hosting, Gloria is amazing. Please go ahead, use her. That is my brand because it is clear to everyone that that is the service I offer. So branding is in two ways. There's something called inner branding and outer branding. Now, inner branding is you knowing your why. What are you doing? Why are you doing what you're doing? You are a photographer, a videographer, you're a content creator, you are a writer, an author, you're a coach. It's your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? That's your inner brand. That's the first question. You must know your why. That's the first step. You see, I'm not even going to logo and selling ebooks and digital courses. We will get there. The first step is knowing your why. Why do you do what you do? What exactly is the reason that fuels you? Because if you don't know your why, you'll get tired along the way when the results do not come as they should come, because your why is what keeps you grounded. Your why is what keeps you going. Your why is what gives you focus. Your why is what gives you clarity. So your inner branding is knowing your why. The second thing I'll say about your inner branding is be clear about your values. Be clear about your niche. Carve a niche for yourself and be clear. Your values are simplicity, excellence, transparency. Your values are commitment. Be clear about those values. For me, my values are excellence, professionalism at its highest level. No matter how pressured I am at an event, I will maintain the highest level of professionalism. So all women listening to me on this call, you need to go back after this webinar, sit yourself down, look at your brand as a creator, as a photographer, whatever line of creative you are. It's important that you ask yourself those two questions. Number one, your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? What's the reason? Is it because of you have a passion for it? Is it because you want to make money? Is it because you want people to you want to have a lot of followers? What's the why? Second question is, be clear about your values. What values you uphold? What values help you as a human being and as a brand? Once you've done all of that, you've stated your inner brand. Now we move on to the outer brand. Now, the outer brand, I would say, is showing up online. First off, showing up online. There's no business that tells me today that, "Ah, I don't like being online,
Yeah.
please. I just want to be doing," we're not doing door to door business anymore. We're not doing door to door branding anymore. How many people these days use flyers and they go around sharing flyers from door to door? I can't even remember the last time I saw a business flyer, right? Because everything
Yep.
is now online. Everybody is on social media. So first off, you need to make noise about what you do online. Go online. Now we are now more intentional about your brand and your personal brand and growing it. You have to find a name for yourself, a business name for yourself. You have to let people know that this is what you do. You create some form of online perception about what you do. You get your color code right, your logos right, and you show up online. Another thing is having an online presence across social media platforms. So I, for one, because of what I do as an event MC, you find me on LinkedIn, you find me on Instagram, you find me on TikTok, you find me on YouTube, right? That's what I do, and those are the social media platforms that I use to push my work online for people to know. And because of, again, the world is a global village. Somebody in Amsterdam can know that Gloria is an event MC in Nigeria and they want to book me for my services. You don't have to see me physically anymore for us to transact, because the world is not a global village. And so I would say that it's important that you show up online and you are consistent with it. Another mistake people make is inconsistency with branding. You can't be everything. Today, we go on your page, you are a content creator, you help people turn their knowledge into money. Another day, tomorrow, you are selling hair. The next day, we see you are selling real estate. The next day, we go on your, and everybody is confused. Everybody's like, can you just pick one struggle, please? Let's know where you are and what you stand for and what you are offering, so we can know what value you are giving to us, so that when we call a certain niche or a certain industry, or we call a certain service provider, your name is from 1 to 5. When you call a digital platform to host your ebooks and to sell your courses and to monetize your knowledge, we all know that Seller is number one. There's no gainsaying. We don't need to, because they've been able to state it clearly that this is the value that we offer and this is what we are here for. So you need to be consistent with your branding. Let us see it across all boards, and that even starts with your name. Are you pretty for sure on Instagram, and on LinkedIn you are something else, and somebody wants to even refer you for a gig and they don't even know which one you are across board? So that is one of the, I
Yeah.
just, and it's a lot, but just because of our time, I would like to reiterate: inner branding, outer branding. Inner branding, know your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? Be very clear about your values. Clarity is important. Again, people cannot pay you for what they don't understand you do, and you need to know it yourself. It needs to be clear to you yourself as a human being before you communicate it to every other person. Because when it's not clear to you, how do you want to communicate your values to people? And that's inner branding. Now, for your outer branding, I've said it, get a name for yourself and be consistent with that name, your color, your code, your there's an aura around your brand. For me now, anyone that sees me will know that there's an aura around Gloria's brand. She's not loud, she's not everywhere, she's just very conservative and professional about what she does. And it's working for me. It might not work for you. Find what works for you, be consistent with it, show up online, show up on social media platforms. Nobody's doing traditional networking again or traditional publicity again. Social media platform is free for everyone now to make noise about what you do personally
Yeah.
and professionally. And I think when you're able to do all of these things consistently, you'll be able to turn your income into wealth.
I love that every time you answer a question, it feels like we take a mini masterclass into that particular topic. And I really hope that everyone that's watching is taking notes down and everything. Hi, Sarah. I really hope we can hear you now. Hi.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, we can.
Oh,
Yes.
praise God.
Yes. Uh,
Praise God.
praise, praise God.
Yes. Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Welcome to the webinar.
Thank you.
Welcome. We're so
Thank
happy
you.
to have you. Okay. The first question I wanted to ask you, I think in the beginning, was we're talking a lot about making money, but the theme for this webinar is about wealth. So, how can we go from, oh, I'm just making money, into I'm building wealth, especially coming from the line of women who are currently building online?
Okay, amazing. I'm so glad that you can all hear me now, because I was thinking maybe my village people followed me here. But unfortunately, I'm stronger than them. So I'm still here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Love it. We love it.
basically, when we talk about wealth building and earning money, they're two different things, right? They're two different things. People feel that once they start making money, that
Oh,
is it, right? But that is not it. Once you start making money, that's like your first step in the whole journey of financial independence, financial stability, whatever it is for you. And I would like to use myself as an example. I remember before getting on board this whole financial literacy thing and money management thing, it started as a personal yearning, personal journey I wanted to start on my own because I couldn't understand how I would earn money and I was still very broke. I would
broke.
save,
Yeah.
and at the same time, my savings would end up saving me. I didn't understand why that was the case. But later on, after I got into this whole financial literacy thing, money management, knowing how to get better with money, I now realize that there's a difference between earning money and actually building wealth. And what's the difference? The difference is simple. Once you're earning money, it's active. Once you are building wealth, it is passive. It is passive in a way. It is, you are no longer
Yeah.
actively working for that money. All you're doing is, oh, you're earning money and you're saving, you're investing, you're buying assets, you're buying less liability. So that's where the difference comes in. That's where you begin to make the whole gist becomes a different story altogether. So you have to move from earning money, which is you're making money from freelancing, from content creation, from photography, from whatever it is you do, right? You make money from there. But in order for you to begin to build wealth, the first step is savings. You know, most times we underestimate the power of savings. We feel, it's not like these days, everybody is all about investments. Invest, 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 invest. But trust me, if you have not built the discipline to save, it will be difficult for you to invest. Guess what happens when you have not built the discipline to save? If you invest, you will go back and sell off your investment just so that you can live
Yeah.
off that investment. Again,
Investment.
before you even start investment, you must have a level of stability. That is why, so it goes for both savings and investment. That is why you would see that typically you earn money, you save, and you pull it out. Why? It's because you have not understood that you are not yet stable enough to start saving, or you're saving too much, or you're doing way much more than what you are supposed to be doing at that point in time. I see people who earn 50,000 naira and they want to save 50,000 naira. How? How? How do you want to survive? What happens to your
Yeah.
needs? What happens to your wants? Right? So you have to know all these things. Oh, I earn 50,000 naira. The first step is to be able to save a little portion. It could be 5%, it could be 10%, it could be 2%, but just start, right? Once you start, that's you beginning your journey to wealth. Once you start that, you start saving. For most people, because most times when we talk to people, when I talk to women, there are women who are just starting on this whole journey. Either their finances are not that robust for them to start investing immediately, because with investment, again, you need a huge sum of money in order for you to be able to see good returns. That's just the truth. It's something nobody will tell you. Most times we say, oh, you can start investing with 5,000 naira. But the actual truth is, how much are you making on that 5,000 naira? Right, as interest. But if you start investing and let's say you build up your muscle and you're able to save up to 1 million naira and you start investing, it's a good start, because the return on investment you're going to get is going to be much more than starting with 5,000 naira. So the difference between earning and investing or building wealth is that you move from just earning money into actively allowing your money to work for you. Their investments could be assets like mutual funds, stocks, real estate, businesses, even your own business, right, is an investment. So that's like the
Yeah.
major difference.
I love that you've listed a couple of options, because my next question goes to Ife. Hi, Ife. I would love for you to speak specifically for professionals, especially professionals who earn a salary, who are like, my money is not growing. I keep receiving the next salary and I go from salary to salary. What do you think are some actionable steps they can start taking to start seeing that money grow in a way where they can invest or invest it into their content, especially? Hi, Fair. Okay. Hmm. I think Ife has also left the webinar as well. Well, Sarah, do you want to take that? How 9 to 5 hours can, especially like, take actionable steps to be able to just see their salaries kind of turn into like return for them, maybe into their content or into the savings and investments that you've talked about.
Okay, so one practical way is the first thing I'd always want to tell 9 to 5ers is the money you are making is already enough. You already have an edge, right? You already have an edge because you have a predictable income. So you can say every month, see, wealth building is all about discipline. It's
Yeah.
not if I like, if I don't like. No, you have to discipline yourself into building wealth. If you are not
Mm.
disciplined, you would never be able to make it. So the first thing is to psych yourself and tell yourself, come to the realization that what you have is enough, right? What I have is enough. From what I'm earning, 50,000, 1 million, 10 million, I can remove a portion of it, a portion. We call it pay yourself first. So you always pay yourself first. Once your salary lands, the first thing you're supposed to do, if you're a Christian, you take out your tithe. If you're not a Christian, you pay yourself first by removing 10%. If you're starting, 10% is good. If you're starting, even 5% is good, right? So you take out that 5% or 10%, and depending on how much the money is, and depending on your risk appetite, right? You can start off with saying, oh, you want to build up your emergency funds, right? You
Yeah.
can start building your emergency funds, or you can go into savings. And instead of just saving your income in an ordinary bank account, let's say GT, Zenith, and the rest of them, you can decide to put it in a high yield savings account. So it's either you're putting it in a high yield savings account, or you're putting it in a money market, or you're putting it in a mutual fund. Why do I advise that? Because it is easily liquid. When I say it is easily liquid, it means you can withdraw it at any time, but you're still making interest on it. Like with money market, you literally make money on it every month, every day with money market. Even with mutual funds, it's just that you can't take it out every day, right?
Yeah.
But you're literally making something on it. And most times the percentage is around between 17 to 20%. It falls within that range, right? So instead of leaving it in the bank account where you're making less than, let's say, 2% in a year, you're putting it in a high yield savings account. You're putting it in mutual funds. You're putting it in treasury bills. You're putting it in money markets. That's a start. That's a very, very good start. Then you can now diversify your portfolio into other forms of investment as you master this money thing. Because one mistake I see people make is you're so interested in this whole wealth building thing that you begin to make reckless, uninformed decisions.
Yeah.
So a friend might come, oh, you're interested in investing. A friend might come and tell you, oh, Nigerian stocks are doing so well now. Put your monies there. Without having informed decision, you don't even know how the stock market works. You don't know anything. You put your money there, right? So that's one very bad habit I see professionals make that they need to stop making. So you have to start with the foundation, which is financial literacy, then knowing your risk appetite, and you can now decide where and what to put your monies in, basically.
Awesome. I really love how elaborate the explanation was, and it was also very actionable as well. speaking of money funds, there's a question in the chat where, um, sorry, one second. What are some trusted and tested money markets and mutual funds? And then I like you don't have to get into it, but maybe where they can find examples of such of these. Yeah.
Okay, so um, I don't want to do adverts for people.
No free
Can you hear
promo.
me? Can you still hear
No
me?
free promo. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. But Stambik is one very, very good asset management company. We have Cardinal Stone. Cardinal Stone is also good. They're like one of the best right now in Nigeria. So they can go for those options.
Awesome stuff. Thank you so much for sharing. We also have another question for you in the comments. So Cecilia is asking, what about multi-passionate women? Do you limit your personal brand to just one thing if you have so many passions?
Okay, I think I saw a great question. Just share my story. Let me use myself as an example to answer your question. I I do everything I do in media and communication, so it's all related. They're intertwined. I'm not selling hair and then I'm doing media, or I'm doing
Yeah.
tech and then I'm doing media. I'm doing music and doing media. No, what I do is still intertwined. So the first question will be that to ensure that what you say you're multi-passion. Let me read the question again. Multi-passionate. Ensure that what you
Yeah.
are multi-passionate about, they are closely intertwined. It's easier for you to manage your personal brand that way. Not that you are, for example, if you say that you are a musician, you sing, you could be that another thing that you're passionate about is coaching, is training people. That's still, you can still find some similarity and they're
Yeah.
still interconnected. Yes, it's easier that way. So let me use myself as an example. I said it that I am very keen. When you look at me, everything I do is related to communication, media, and all of that. So before I became an event MC that is widely known now, I used to teach and I still do. I coach diction because I read English language in school. I graduated as a student of English. And so I thought about it that how can I help people be better masters of English language, just pronounce words as they should be pronounced and learn how to communicate their thoughts and their words and all that. So I started coaching diction on my personal page. I built a brand as a diction coach on my personal page. But as I journeyed through life and I began to grow, I decided that I wanted to build a brand, a professional brand as a professional compere as an event MC. And so there was a clash. On my page, I started posting events, highlights from events. I mentioned consistency and showing up. So I started posting events and showing up online on my page where I had also been teaching how to speak English. Now there was a conflict. Brands get to my page and they're wanting to book me to MC their event, or people refer me and say, Gloria is an amazing MC. Here is our Instagram page where you can check out her work as an event
Mhm.
MC. And then they land on my page and they're seeing how to pronounce this, how to pronounce that, how not to stammer. And they're confused. But I thought you said this girl is a
Yeah.
professional MC. Why am I not seeing anything? Or before I see any post that has to do with MCing, I've seen 10 posts that have to do with diction. And so
Diction.
I had a sit down with my mentor, and she told me, she said, Gloria, now you have to separate both. I know that you love communication. I know that the diction thing is growing your page, but please, now you have to find a clear difference between both of them because both are now beginning to clash. So, as a multi-passionate woman, what I did was I opened another page, another channel. I created a different brand, different from what I do as an event MC.
Yeah.
And as we speak, my brand that teaches diction is now doing even better than my brand that's where I MC events.
And
So it's
compare.
important that you can do many things, but be very clear. Let each of them have their standalone branding. Don't merge everything together because you will confuse your audience. Remember what I said? I can imagine the amount of clients I lost because they went on my page and there was no clear difference as to what service I offer or what value I'm giving. That's one. Number two, I would say that start with one and diversify. I know you are multi-passionate. You have so many things you want to do at the same time. You're passionate about music, about cooking, about why don't you first of all start by carving one niche? Look at what's her name, Idabasi. Idabasi used to be a television presenter. She used to host a cooking show on television. Now she doesn't do the cooking show anymore. She's now running a restaurant as a food business and also as an influencer. Who knows, she might go back to hosting the cooking show on television. But she needed to carve a niche as the owner of a food business, as an influencer, and then other parts of her will come underneath. So choose one, pour all of your energy into that, and you can later, as you go on in life, diversify. So that's those two options that you can try it.
Okay, so to recap, as a multi-passionate woman, it's always very necessary for your skills or the things you're passionate about to have some sort of intertwine. And if they are beginning to clash, you might have to separate them or choose. And especially when you have a lot, you also need to find a couple that you can focus on and actually carve a niche for yourself in that space. I really hope we're taking notes because these are like very important things that I think women and people alike struggle with, especially online, right? And then I also want to speak to Ife because we're talking a lot about money and personal finance literacy is a big thing. A lot of people don't know about how to take care of their money or how to grow it. So, can you just speak to us about how important it is for people who are making money online to also have personal finance literacy?
Great question. Thank you. So I'm going to start from here. I know that this audience is mostly for people looking to, this webinar is mostly for people looking to turn their knowledge into, you know,
Income, yeah.
into income, right? So I would say the first thing you must do is start seeing what you're doing as a business, because that's what it is. It's easy for digital creators, for creators, basically, content creators, digital creators, teachers, coaches, selling digital products, affiliate marketing, whatever form of digital stream of income you created for yourself. It's quite easy for you to feel like this money is just coming in and I'm just spending it as it's coming in. Another one will come. 10 more people, if I make one video, 10 more people will buy my ebook. And then I'll have money for that week. I'll have money for that new shoe I want. And it's very, very easy to get lost in this rat race, or like have you ever seen a hamster running in a wheel and
Yeah,
just
on a wheel.
yeah, chasing the cheese and just spinning, never getting to the cheese, because that's what it becomes when you don't see yourself as a business. And one of the rude shocks that I believe that a lot of creators got last year or this year, this year, is the new tax reform, right? That will now force you to pay tax on your income. So now you have to really, it gets done. You have to embrace the reality that you're actually earning income from this, and it is a business. So I would say the first thing is see yourself as a business owner, because that's who you are. You're not just creating for the fun of it. You're making money. This is a legitimate stream of income. So set up structure that would ensure that your money is managed properly. So what does that structure typically look like? The first thing I would say, you might have heard this severally, is pay yourself a salary. I know as creators sometimes income is unpredictable, but again, month on month, it might not be fixed. You can do a percentage if income is not predictable. So maybe this month you sold 20 courses, last month you sold 100, right? You can do a percentage that makes sense, right? And again, if it's possible, if your business has grown to a level where you can have a fixed number, by all means do that. So pay yourself a salary from that and have allocation for your business running costs, right? You see that your phone, that data, that tripod stand you just bought, your electricity bill to create content, your purchase of people's items to do review, whatever niche you're in, or anything that it has cost you to show up for that stream of income, you want to start treating it as legitimate business expenditure, right? And
Yeah.
this will put things in perspective for you. And I also believe that by doing this, you'll be able to grow faster. Because when you start thinking as a business person, you're not just thinking as it's passive income. I don't see what we do as passive income anyways, because you put a lot of work into it. You're working really, really hard
There's
to make it happen.
nothing passive about content
There's
creation at
nothing
all.
exactly. There's nothing passive about it. So don't fall for the illusion that it's just some side money that I'm making. No, think of it as a business. Then you start thinking in terms of revenue. How much did we make in this month? Can it afford to actually cover, the expenses that I put in this month? And it starts to put things in perspective for you that, oh, do I need to push further on maybe my content to ensure that I make more money? Do I need to do brand collaborations? Do I need to run ads? What can we do to boost sales? So you will see that it takes a life of its own. Immediately you come to the realization that this is not just some uh, kicking the can on kicking a can on the social media streets, like you're just doing it. There's structure to it. So managing your money comes from, as a creator, approach it from a business point of view, and this from that treat your income separate from your business revenue, right? This would also have good tax implications for you, especially if this is your sole source of income. If you're able to separate it as a business entity and pay yourself and put all the tax expenditures or the business expenditures on the business, then you would help yourself tax wise at the end of the year or at a time where you have to pay your tax. So treat it as a business, separate your personal income from that. This would also help this hustle or this business you created for yourself to grow, and it will put things in perspective for you as a creator. I hope that helps.
It definitely does. I think a lot of the questions just on birth mini master classes, and a couple of the things where you talked about just taking yourself seriously as a business. And it's a problem that content creators face because you're like, oh my God, is it not just creating videos on Instagram? Are we not just making, oh, I'm making little money here and there? But it's actually a business and you're actually making money from it. So once you start to treat it seriously, you definitely see returns and you definitely learn more about the fact that that's actually income and that's not just spending money per se. And I think this question can go to both of you. Someone is asking in the comments that since we're taking this brand seriously, your brand as a content creator, is there a need to register as a proper business with CAC?
Yes, simple answer, yes. Again, if this is not if this is not just I'm playing around, this is something you want to grow. I think the best thing you can do for yourself is set it up as a business. Let it have its own life. CAC
Yeah.
registration, its own bank account, let your money flow into that bank account, pay for business expenses, your operations expenses from that bank account. Treat it as it's not just money. You make 500,000, you spend everything. Taxman will come for you if you don't have structure. So and it also apart from the tax man, right? It also sort of takes away your sense of responsibility for your money, because there is that illusion that, oh, I know how to sell, so I will always make money. Fine, you will always do that. But I see the niche of content creation, selling digital product courses, coaching, all of that falls under this social media money. I see it in the same light, in the same light as I see freelancing. Right, 1 month you can make $10,000,
Yeah.
$100,000. You launch a product, you make a lot of money, and then 2 3 months it can be coming in trickles. Right, it can be coming $500. $100 here, it can be like that. So if you don't plan properly, if you don't have that structure, Sapa is waiting in front. So that's all I have to say.
I was like, that took me out. But yes, thank you so much for answering the question. For Hi Gloria, I think one question I've been meaning to ask you, because you have such a big brand on social media, you are an events compare. I think a major part of what you do is trust. People trust that you deliver. People trust that you would, do the things that you say you would, especially for women who wants to start maybe selling courses or selling digital products. How can they build that same trust so that when they launch, oh, people will actually buy from them?
Great question, Chidinma. Great question. Let me quickly answer the question Ifeoluwa touched on in 2 minutes, 1 minute before I
Yeah,
answer your question.
sure.
Um, I decided I grew my brand to a point where I realized I needed to put in structure. I needed to register it with the Corporate Affairs Commission because the brand was growing. I needed to delegate. I couldn't continue to handle my brand like it was a personal brand where people are just dashing me money. I'm working and then
Yeah.
I couldn't account for the money and all that. So I needed to register my what I do as an event MC under the name The Quintessential Compare Limited. And so I reached out to my lawyer. My lawyer, yes, you heard me, lawyer. I have a lawyer. Yes, it gets to a point where you grow to as a
You
woman,
also need it.
your brand gets a lawyer. Yes, you have a lawyer because you start getting deals as a creative. Brands are coming to you for brand ambassadorship. They want you to influence for them. You need to read the contract. I hope, don't worry, let me just, we need to read, you need to read the contract. You need to go through it because these things are
Yeah.
important as a creative. I think I was with the brand 2 weeks ago, where I hosted the International Women's Day, and they were telling, one of the topic there was IP, intellectual property, branding and patenting and all that. And we realize that more often than not, creatives make a lot of errors where they don't go through contract before signing it. They don't read in between the lines. So I had to hire a lawyer who helped me to register my business with the Corporate Affairs Commission and ensure that I started charging for tax every
Tax.
service that you give to me. I there's value added tax. People pay for tax. You remit it to the internal revenue service. You need to take yourself seriously, creatives.
Yeah.
Women, listen to me. You need to take yourself seriously. A lot of us as creatives, as business people, entrepreneurs, we don't take ourselves seriously. We're always joking with ourselves and our businesses and all that. And then when we become so big, we don't know how to manage it anymore. So you start from now. Don't wait till you get to the big stages and you get the big gigs and the brand endorsements.
Yeah.
Start from now that you're only 5 people are buying your courses on Seller every week. It's okay. Start from now. Start accounting for them. Get a lawyer, get an accountant to help you audit your account. Get, even if not an accountant, get somebody that will help you go track your expenditure, your income. Thank God on Seller you can track how many people have bought your courses, how many people left it in their cart and they did not end up paying. You can reach out to them. You can do all of these things. Don't wait till you become a very big person before you start putting structure in your business. At what time, I'm answering that person that said building your outer brand. At what point do I need to do CAC registration? When you realize that your brand is now becoming bigger than you expect, you need to go and register it. What am I even saying? From the very beginning, from the
Yeah.
very get, go and register your business with CAC, because you can get so big that when you now want to register, somebody else has taken your name. Many of you are operating business names that have already been taken by other people, only for you to get to CAC and you realize that the name is no longer available and you now have to add NG or global or international something to your business name for you to register it. So start from now. Don't wait till you become a big brand. Start, register your business, get structure. When I started paying people, I paid my executive assistant, I have to pay my driver, pay my content creator, people that work with me. It's important that, as Ifeolu has said, get a bank account, open an account, let people pay you into that account, and then you pay yourself salary from there. It's very important. Now, let me go back to you, Chidinma. You touched on trust.
Yeah.
That question is very powerful because people look at me today and like, Gloria, how are you able to get all of these brands? How are you able to host all of these big names and they trust you to deliver? What I always, I'm very, very, very big on feedback. I'm feedback, I'm very big on it. I don't like the going to go and meet somebody and telling them, please, can you give me a feedback for my service? More people say it, do it. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, but I don't really like it because more often than not, I don't get them to give me the honest and genuine feedback. Most times it's already
Yes.
calculated. They already just say, let me just say this to make her happy. No, I like the point where I am done with a service And as maybe because it's a physical service I offer, when I'm done with an event and I'm about leaving and I say, oh, thank you so much for having me as your MC, and I do well, my client comes to me sometimes, gives me a hug and tells me, Gloria, thank you for that service. It was beautiful. And then I get my content person who is always on a standby to record it and capture those moments, and I post them online. What that does is other brands see that person's feedback and say, if this caliber of person could give Gloria this great level of feedback, I'm very sure that she would also deliver on mine. So I'm very big on feedback, and most times spontaneous feedback. But now it might not be easy for you to get the spontaneous feedback because you are a creative and you are posting online. But when people read your books or they buy your courses, let there be a place where you can always give a feedback on how your experience was with reading the book or buying the course or going through the course, the manual, the manuscript, and all that. Collate them together and have it as a like a portfolio of feedback. So on my website now, www.gloriababs.com, www.gloriababs.com, when you go to the website, you see a certain drop down where there's feedback. So both emails, because not every time I have video feedbacks where feedback rather, where people are telling me verbally. Sometimes my emails, when I'm done with an event and I'm done rendering a service, I go to my email, I thank my clients, and then they write to me to say, Gloria, well done. Thank you very much for that. Amazing. I take a screenshot and I post it on my website, because immediately what that helps me to do is that helps serve as a leverage for me to get other clients and other gigs. Because again, feedback is one very important way that you can get people to trust you. And another way that you can get people to trust you over time as a woman is you showing up. I cannot overemphasize you showing up. Ladies, we need to show up. You can't come today, tomorrow you're off. The next tomorrow they're looking for you. Upper week, you're no longer there. You need to constantly show up every day and show up consistently. Let them see your pattern. I think there's a part about storytelling that I'll maybe if we have a chance, I'll get into it about telling your story. People believe stories more than titles, but if time permits us, I'll get into that. But majorly, what I would say is number one, feedback is very important. Feedback will help you gather the trust of people and gather the trust of clients. And number two, another thing will be you showing up consistently. Once you do those two, you should be able to get trust of people and get trust of clients who want to book your service.
So I echoed my sentiments. You answered this question in are so nice to hear and to just write down. I have to take my phone and take some notes down as well while you confirm the yes.
Hey Siri, how do I make money as a digital creator? How can I make money from my creativity? What's the best cost hosting platform in Africa?
To do that, you'll need to be online.
All right, I'm online. What's next? Everyone has a story to tell. The difference is in how we tell them. As a creator, you tell your stories with the content you create. Our job is to give you a platform to monetize your content. So the next time you think about digital products, think Selar. Get started for free on selar.co today.
Hi guys, I'm so sorry. Hello. Hi fellow. Hi Gloria. Can you still hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. So I was going to add on word about not being able to get feedback because it's like you're physical and then what we're talking about is more like an online audience. And I wanted to speak about social proof. the importance of social proof is very, like, it's under we've talked about. People are definitely going to be talking about the things that you've sold. Okay, so I
Chidima,
think we're back now.
can you?
Hi, Faye.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I
Okay, I
wanted
think
to add something on social proof for digital creators. Great sharing from Gloria. So the thing about digital creators is that because it's not physical, we tend to some people tend not to care about what they are creating. So if you want to build a business that can stand the test of time, that will keep your audience coming back for more, that would ensure that no matter what you put out, your audience, they're ready to buy from you. You have to really care about people. And when you care about people, you care about the impact of the product you're putting out, and you're not just putting out products or services because you want to make a quick buck. Then getting social proof as a creator, or through maybe you're using Selar, you can get your feedback. I don't think it would be a tedious thing to do at all. But one thing I wanted to mention, like I've said, is care about your community, care about your audience, care about the transformation that they desire. Recently, I've been seeing some conversation on TikTok about a particular creator that has been, I think, sold something about is it affiliate marketing or digital products? And people are literally coming for her now because they're asking for a refund. And, it's just really bad for her brand because they felt that what she promised wasn't what she delivered. And of course, creators will say, "Oh, I don't do refund. If the money is gone, right?" So it's a problem because a lot of people are now starting to distrust creators, especially the ones selling courses, digital products, and things like that. So if you don't have the attitude of I care about my community, whatever I'm putting out there, I want to help somebody genuinely. I know you want to make money, but you want to help somebody genuinely. And that will be the foundation of the product that you put out. Then asking your audience that you care about, that you're sure that, okay, this product that I put out is going to help you achieve this goal. You want to ask them, okay, did it actually help you achieve it? And I don't think anyone should see it as a personal failure if you see one or two people that, oh, it didn't work for me. That's fine. Your product probably not work for everybody, but people will still test it out. But if you look at the scale and you're saying like 80%, 90% of your audience, they find it very valuable. It has really helped me overcome this issue. I've been able to achieve this because of this ebook, because of this course. Then it gives you the confidence even as a creator to go on. And this is what will keep people coming back to you. I'll use my colleague Financial Jennifer. I'm sure Gloria is familiar with her as an example. There's nothing that Jennifer is selling that women will not line up to buy, right? Because she genuinely cares about the women community that she has built for years. She does a lot of free things for that community. She cares about them. She asks questions. She holds a major conference for women. There's just a lot of course, she didn't start with this big project, right? But she started from the way she nurtured the community. Another creator I'll use as an example is Salem. Um, Salem is one person that anytime he puts out a product, digital product, a community or anything, a course is selling, people rush it because they know from his content, from the way it comes off, his branding, it comes as somebody that genuinely cares about you, wants you to be better, and not just looking to make a quick buck. So people are becoming more analytical of creators nowadays. People are becoming, is your money used? I've been seeing a lot of these posts, and they want to tell you how to make $100,000. Is your money that you used to buy the course that is making them the $100,000? So people are seeing it because of some bad elements. You're starting to see it as a disingenuous model of business, but that doesn't necessarily make it the truth. It's just that at this day and age, where there is easy access to information, a lot of people can Google things, check things on ChatGPT. if you're not putting things out that would generate, that would impact lives, that will give transformation, that shows that you care about your community, you will run out in no time, and that feedback will not just really work out. So I just wanted to add that touch point.
Thank you so much. I think I dropped off a little bit due to network issues, but I was able to catch the tail end of your conversation on social proof as well. I think rolling into the final questions of this webinar, and I think what I would like to get from both of you would be perspective on like three things that women can leave for your specific industries. So now, if someone wants to start building their professional brand, Gloria, what are the three actionable things they can start doing right now to just put things in place? And what would you suggest that they do? Right. And then for if someone wants to be more intentional with their personal finance, if they're scared about investing, if they don't know where to go on a salary, what are the three things they should do right now that would, just take them a step further on that journey that they are starting to embark on? So I'd love for Gloria to go first. If you do.
Okay. Thank you, Chidinma. Three things that you can start now. Number one, and I hope
Yes.
you're noting, we're in class. Number
Where class
one,
is in session.
number one, be specific about what you want to do. Be specific. You again, I've said it before, and I'm reiterating. Be specific
Yes.
about what you want to do. Know it in detail. Your why, your value. This is what I want to do. I want to be a creative. I want to build a community and sell courses online. That is what you want to do. Be specific about it. It's important. That's the first step before you even start anything at all. It's important. Again, I say that people cannot pay you for what is not clear and what service it is that is not clear that they know you offer. It's important that it's very clear to everyone. Even a blind man can see and know that this is the service that you offer without mincing words or without having to doubt it. It's important that it's very clear. Now, once it's now clear and you've now put it online that this is what I do, please pay me for this service. I am a creative. I teach beauty and fashion, lifestyle. I create content around it. I create content on health. I create content on finances. I teach people how to make money. Once you've done all of that online, you now need to start sharing consistently. That's number two step. Share consistently. On LinkedIn, I have one thing that has made me, because I realized that we don't have so many MCs on LinkedIn that really push their work on LinkedIn, aside from probably the likes of Tammy Badru, who has a growing LinkedIn community. We don't have so many of them. One thing I have now done is I've come on LinkedIn online, said this is what I do. What I'm now doing is I am sharing consistently. So I'm sharing posts, I'm sharing nuggets, I'm sharing lessons, I'm sharing insights from an event I attended, an event I was invited to speak at. I'm sharing this is what I shared at this event. This is what happened at my event. These are the things I do when I'm preparing for an event. That way, I begin to position myself as an industry expert, as an industry voice. So when anyone needs any clarity concerning anything that relates to my industry, I am the first that they will call on because I have consistently shared online. The first is, again, knowing your why. Be very clear about the service that you offer and what you want to do. The second one is you coming online to share consistently, share your knowledge, share what you know consistently, no matter how simple it is. Statistics in my industry, there are 80% more men than women. I realized over time that when you put color pink and color purple together, it makes you look bold. Little things like that. It doesn't have to sound very big. It doesn't have to
Yeah.
sound very big. No, it just has to be very simple, but be consistent. Share your knowledge, what you know. When you have a conversation with somebody, share it online. Somebody wants to hear it. Finally, you mentioned three. There are many more, but I'll give you the third one. The final one is stop seeking validation from people. Women
Mm.
are we are we want to we can literally live in people's validation. You're waiting for somebody to just tell you that, wow, you are such an excellent person. I love your ebook. Oh, I love that course that you're selling on, that you've put on Selar. I love it. You're waiting for somebody to tell you that before you can be, before you can dare, before you can do. No. You don't always have to wait for the validation. Stop waiting for the validation before you show up. Because again, when you're waiting for the validation before you show up, what happens if the validation never comes? What happens when no one ever tells you you're doing well, your course is good? I do something a lot, and I tell people that internal validation far outweighs external validation. External validation is good. If it comes, beautiful. Let's not lie. Let's tell ourselves the truth. It is beautiful. When somebody tells you, Gloria, you're an amazing MC. You are such an excellent creative. I love what you do on online. I love your ebook. I love your book. I've downloaded it. I love your course that you sell. I love your coaching classes. It makes you happy. Let's tell ourselves. Let's not even try to sugarcoat. Yes, it comes. Once in a while you need to hear it from another person. They're telling you that you are doing well. I know. But don't live your success or don't live your showing up based off of what another person says. Because what happens is when it doesn't come, you don't want to show up. You don't want to be there. You don't want to keep creating because you feel like the comments are not coming, the likes are not coming, nobody's seeing your work. Who told you nobody's seeing your work? Don't you know that a lot of people are silent followers? They don't like, they don't comment, but they're seeing it. They might not
Yeah.
even use your product, but they are recommending your product to another person who needs it silently without you even knowing. So don't base off your showing up or your success on what another person is saying. Draw strength from your internal validation constantly every day. Tell yourself that you're going to show up as a creator, regardless of what the economy is saying or regardless of what any other person is saying about your work. But ensure that in as much as you are giving internal validation to yourself, you're not validating yourself on rubbish or you're not validating yourself on nonsense. It's important that you're validating yourself on excellence because you can be consistent in nonsense. You can be consistent in something that is very mediocre. You can. So ensure that in as much as you're not resting on external validation and you're looking from inside, you are looking at something that is excellent. Your work is excellent. Your work is world class. Your courses, your coaching sessions, your books, your webinars, they are world class. You package them well that even you yourself, you know you've done well without having to wait for somebody to tell you you've done well. So I'd like to reiterate, number one, be very clear on the value you offer, be very clear on what you want to do. Let it be as clear to you, crystal clear as white waters. Let it be very clear to you. Number two, share your knowledge online. No knowledge is too small to be shared. Start posting about it on LinkedIn, share nuggets, tips that will help people on Instagram, on LinkedIn, even when there are no likes, there are no follows, there are no comments. Keep sharing, keep posting it. And then finally, do not wait for the validation from people. Women, you're listening to me, but ensure that in as much as you're not waiting for the validation from people, you're getting the validation internally. Ensure it is on an excellent work. Because you can be doing what is not excellent and you're telling yourself, I'm doing well. Well done, Gloria. You are an amazing person. You're an amazing creator. But you yourself, deep inside of you, you know that your work is not world class. So those are the 3 points I'll share with you. I'll allow Ife or Olua to answer a question.
All right. Thank you, Gloria, for sharing. I've been charged to talk about the 3 steps of putting your personal finance together, all right, as a creator. So the first thing, I'm still going to go back to what I've shared initially. Treat it as a business, all right? There are key areas of a healthy financial life. You must be able to track what is coming in. You must be able to track what is going out. And you must be able to conserve, all right? So track what is coming in, track what is going out, and conserve. So conserving is basically, my people will say, don't eat with your 10 fingers, right? So you make, let's say this month you make 100K, just as an example from your courses. Try and save 20K, even if you're going to spend 80K. That 20K can be your emergency savings for later, because next month might not perform as high as 100K. It might perform better as a creator. You might perform better. New brand deals might come, new courses. You might be able to sell courses better. You might be able to do a lot of things can happen the next month. But what you have right now as a creator, the money that you have available is literally what you can plan around. You, unlike salary earners that have a salary where they can know, oh, verily, verily, my 500K salary is coming in at the end of the month. For you as a creator, you you don't have that luxury, right? You can predict,
Yeah.
you don't have that luxury of verily, verily. So what is in your hand right now, it is what is certain, it is what is a given, right? So what you need to do is ensure you're not eating everything, you're conserving something. And that what you're conserving is not just for, I'm going to talk about investing, which is putting your money to work as a creator, but it's not just for that. It serves for, it can be for the reason of diversification, right? So as a creator, like Gloria said earlier, you might have multiple potential. Maybe you have other businesses you want to fund, you want to channel resources into. They can help you seize opportunities. Maybe there are things they are offering in your industry and you need to have some level of cash to key in. It will help you seize opportunities. It can save you on rainy days. The days that, oh, you didn't sell up to, on months that maybe you didn't sell up to 100 courses and you still need money to feed and take care of yourself, it can really come in handy. Then last but not the least, you can use that money to start building wealth. I beg your pardon. You can use that money to start building wealth. And what does that mean? Sarah mentioned it earlier. It's as simple as taking interest in things like the stock market, the money market, equity fund, commercial papers, and you start building brick by brick, you start laying the foundation, right? As a financial planner today, my company overall, we've done about 21 billion in asset under advisory. But my personal journey that started about 13 years ago, my first investment was with 5,000 naira. Who knew that one day we'll build a company that has gotten to that level? So I share that story with you so you can know that you don't have to look down your widow's mite. So it could be that 10K you have to spare from what you made in the month to channel towards your investment. Still do it, because what you're building is not just the compounding big numbers of money that you are looking at in your head, but you're also building a lifestyle, a habit, a mindset rewiring that helps you to start thinking as a wealth builder. There's a way wealth builder think. They don't eat up with their 10 fingers. They don't, they are very comfortable with delayed gratification. Until now, I practice delayed gratification a lot, right? If it's still working, I have this MacBook that I've been using for how many years? Actually, my husband used it first and then gave me. And then recently, I was telling my staff because they saw the cable and were like, ah, okay, you not change this laptop. I'm like, is it not functioning? Can you not hear me when I talk? When I send you document, does it not get to you? So I'm not one that would use all my earnings or my money to chase hype, to chase the latest iPhone, to chase the latest wigs. I don't even do that anyways, to chase the latest things basically. And I know as creators, we tend to spend a lot of our time on social media and we can get caught in that rat race of, oh, this is my colleague in the industry. You know, when she's going for event, let me use Gloria's industry. Maybe when she's going for event, she's always wearing 500,000 to 1 million brands, 1 million naira clothes, or the handbag she's carrying is $5,000. So that's what I have to aspire to. Don't let that be a cage you trap yourself in mentally. Separate yourself, take your money seriously, take your finances seriously. Treat everything that comes into your hand as something valuable. Because at the end of the day, you're a steward of money. Money will always pass through your hand. I spoke with somebody today and she was like, every time I look at the money that's passed through my account at the end of the year, I'm always shocked. Like, are you serious that this kind of money actually came, like, waka past my front? And how much
Yeah.
was I able to conserve from that? And you'll be surprised that 100K, 200K you're looking down on, it adds up. It adds up to a couple of millions after some months. By the time you start looking at it, it actually adds up. So take your money seriously, track what comes in, track what goes out, conserve, put your money to work. All right. Learn about investing. Things you can invest in again. The stock market is booming right now. Even if you are not a pro, you can buy MTN shares. We are all using MTN. You can buy BUA foods. We all eat their products, you know. You can buy which other company is popular now that I can talk about that everybody can associate with. Ideas.
GT.
You GT is there. You see their bank every day. They are making money. Zenith Bank is there. It doesn't have to be complicated. Even if it is 5,000 naira from that money you're making, you're putting in monthly and you are buying those shares, trust me, it will definitely add up. So that's where I stop. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing the touch points and basically like the summary of what we've been talking about. I have a couple of questions in the chat, mostly for Miss Gloria or Mrs. I'm not so sure. How do you even find what you're good at and building a brand from it?
That's such a very good question. How do you find what you're good at and build a path for me? I don't think you don't know what you're good at, but I'm going to share with you what has worked for me and how you can get about it. Now, first off, number one, pay attention to what comes to you naturally. What's that one thing that if I wake you up today, who is that person? Sand YK. If I
Mm,
wake you up today and I say Sand YK, what's that thing that in your dreams you love doing? It's just
mm,
natural. For some of you, it could be helping people. You might be very exhausted, and I just wake you and I say, "Come and help me." You're standing up, you immediately want to help. That already gives you an inclination that you're going to be a very good project manager or an assistant or something. For you,
yeah,
it could be maybe you just love organizing. You don't like things scattered. You just like everything being in its place. That gives you an
yeah,
inclination that you're going to be a very good project manager and an event planner and organizer. You help people manage their lives. Some of you could just be that you just love entering places, spaces, and just making them beautiful. You like arranging things, you like aesthetics. That gives you an inclination that you're going to be a fantastic interior designer. For some of you, it could just be, even if you're tired and I tell you today that, come and I want you to do my makeup, it makes you excited. You just get up and that gives you an inclination that you could be a fantastic makeup artist. For you, it could be you just like gathering people together and sharing your thoughts, coaching them. That gives you an inclination that you could be a good community leader and a good community manager, and you could be a good coach, a great coach. So, number one step, Sandy, is find what comes naturally to you. What comes to you naturally? Number two, what do you do? Another step I'll tell you is that what is that one thing that you do that to others it may be difficult, but to you is very easy? Like it's very easy for you. Other people might
yeah,
find it very difficult. They are struggling with it. I don't know how to say. I say that I'm an event MC and I'm also a diction coach. Not everyone knows how to teach the way I do. I think I've been seeing a lot of you make it easy, you teach in detail. I've been seeing that a lot in the comments today. And I think the reason is because I'm a teacher. Naturally, I teach you and I will teach you the way I'll teach a 2-year-old and you will get it. So it comes to me naturally. Teaching, breaking things down, helping you understand in detail comes to me naturally. So that's another thing that so I found that a strength in that, and I decided to make a career from diction and from coaching with that. So number one, what comes to you naturally? What makes you happy? What tickles your fancy? What are you passionate about? What comes to you that in the midst of your exhaustion and your tiredness, you will be ready to do it? Number two, what is that ability that you have that every other person doesn't have? That's another way that you can find your personal, you can get and build a brand from it. And then finally, what I will share with you will be, what is that one thing that you've been doing consistently that has been giving you results, even if it's very small? Maybe
yeah,
you've been doing it over time, over time. Just look at it very well. I think the way I've been doing this thing over time has been giving me results. Look at your life. It could be your relationship with people. It could be in church, in mosque, at the mosque, anything in your compound, in your estate, online with your friends. And whenever you do that thing, it gives you results, no matter how small it is. That's another way that you can find what you're good at. And now when you've now found all of these things, building a brand from all of these three things I've shared with you is now the next step that you need to take. So you need to be able to say it very clearly that this is what I do, this is why I do what I do, and this is what I do helps. I'll repeat. This is what I
yeah,
do. This is why I do what I do, and
yeah.
this is who what I do helps. From there, you now go back to the steps I shared with you from building a brand. Can you remember the steps I shared
Earlier.
with you again? Number one, what did I share with you? Know your why. Number two, share your knowledge consistently online. When you share your
Yeah.
knowledge content online, don't look for validation externally. So those are the steps that you can use to find what you're good at. And then you use the 3 steps I said share with you to build a brand from it.
Thank you so much for that in-depth question. When you were asking, I was like, yes, I remember this. Come on, I can do this. So I'm very happy that we're all able to have this conversation. And I'm about to wrap up now since there are no questions. I think
Oh, I think I saw
that
a question. Chidima, there's a question on somebody tagged me and said I'm a makeup artist, Gele.
okay, offering, yeah,
Great. Is it okay to post them all on one page? Well, you everything is in beauty. I mean, waxing, facials. We have spas that offer all of these services, but you're a makeup and gele artist and you're also a lash extension facials. Oh, I'm just reading the question. You're a makeup and gele artist, then you're also a lash extension facial waxing and piercing. No, please separate them. Separate them. It's
yeah,
important that you separate them. Yes, they are all under beauty, but remember what happened to me. Everything is under communication, but it got to a point where diction had to make way for MCing services.
yeah.
Both of them can be together, but there's still communication, there's still media, but diction had to make way for MCing services. So, Esther, let your brand be open an Instagram or open a social media platform for your makeup and gilly. Makeup and gilly can go together because I know there are a lot of not every makeup artist can even do gilly. So that's even a
Really, yeah,
beautiful strength that you need to harness.
yeah.
Esther, it's very good for you. Start a brand as a makeup and a gele artist, that's yours. Then another one, you start another one as your beauty services, your lash, facials, waxing, and piercing. So you're not confusing your audience.
Thank you so much. Okay, there's one more question, and I would love to read it out because I think it's very niche. I discovered that in the midst of my colleagues, once I make a decision, most people tend to follow. Where do I belong with such a skill, if I could call it that?
If you make
I
a
know.
decision, oh, please, Chidima, if you know, save me here. Answer me.
Oh
What?
no, I know. She's a she's a natural Mercy. You are a natural born leader. That's
Uh-huh.
what it is. You are
But if
meant to
Oluwa,
lead,
do you
and I
have
think
an answer to this? Maybe she does have an answer to this. Things
yeah,
come naturally to her. She's good. Okay, no, no, that's a different one. When she makes a decision, most people tend to follow her decision. So, what skill could she start, or what brand could she start from that?
So I think for somebody like you, that question is a bit tricky. I mean, so I would say you're probably a naturally influential person,
Yes,
right?
yeah,
People that are just easy to follow. So I would say building a community around something, you probably succeed at that. So it
yes,
could be building a community of high achievers, building a community. You can even build a community for people that want to be influential, or you want to become a better leader. You want people to listen to you
yeah.
when you speak. That might be, how you do that. But if I were you, I would definitely build a community.
yeah. You
I
can
think
even
I
become
agree
a
as well.
mini influencer from there. Yes, you can become a mini influencer from there. You're not, it's not like you're exploiting people, but you're just taking that leverage and power that you have over them to get
Influence.
them the purchasing power, right? You can start telling people that you influence. It might be from a jewelry brand, or you influence from a phone case, anything at all. Now
Yeah,
that you see people follow your decision, when you tell them it's A, they believe you it is A. When you tell them it's C, they believe you it is C. So follow what
yeah.
Ifeoluwa has said. You can also build an influencing brand from it. Who knows? Who knows who might sign you next? So please harness that power. It's very powerful.
I can't wait to meet Mercy the influencer. Hopefully she takes this advice because it's so good. Thank you guys for thank you everybody for coming, and thank you to all the audiences and for the many questions we got today. It was an honor speaking to you, and I'm so glad that you agreed to do this with us, and thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. I mean, that's what we're talking about, turning your knowledge into income. So thank you for sharing your expertise, your knowledge with us on this webinar. And this is where I'd like to call it a day. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank you
Gloria.
for
Thank you,
having
Ife.
us. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you, Selar, for having us. Great work you do. Love you, Selar. Thank
Thank you
you.
so
Thank
much.
you, everyone, for joining.
Thank you,
Thank
Gloria.
you.
Bye.
Bye, Ife.
Hey Siri, how do I make money as a digital creator? How can I make money from my creativity? What's the best course hosting platform in Africa?
To do that, you'll need to be online.
All right, I'm online. What's next? Everyone has a story to tell. The difference is in how we tell them. As a creator, you tell your stories with the content you create. Our job is to give you a platform to monetize your content. So the next time you think about digital products, think Selar. Get started for free on selar.co today.